So basically right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how I've been using ChatGPT's voice to sort of bounce back ideas whenever it comes to development. Now, I don't really know a lot about this given topic, but I know some things. But the real point of this is really just to interact with another thing. And even if I don't believe everything that it's saying, to be able to say, okay, well, that works and I like that. So let's see how that is able to go. Hey, so I really want to make an SOP system for my startup. I work with an AI and it's constantly fast paced and changing. And, I have Notion and I have a lot of other project management software, but I don't think I'm using it to the best of the ability, especially given the situation that I'm in or the industry. I want to be able to create a system that is able to track and standardize how given initiatives are carried out, where we can be organized and know what initiatives are going on at any given time. And there's always a place of truth slash a checklist to know if we're doing the right thing for a given task. Yeah, okay. What do you know about that?
Creating an SOP system that's adaptive to a fast-paced AI startup is a smart move. Notion can be a powerful tool for this since it's flexible and can be customized extensively. Start by mapping out the core processes that happen regularly in your company. For each process, create a dedicated page in Notion that outlines the steps involved, who's responsible, and what the success criteria are. You can use Notion's database feature to track initiatives, assign tasks, and monitor progress.
So currently, I actually do have a template placed in, but it's a really abstract one. But it has projects as the parent, and then the child can be individual little tasks. And it kind of sets it however you can organize the templates of the individual tasks in the pages segment. But that's the database structure. I think really it's more so understanding what are the things I should place into I guess, dashboard, or really how do I show this data and initiatives, and how do I name these individual initiatives? Like, and I mean, so just for reference, my SaaS, I want to be able to take initiatives and place them in and sort of roll them out in different updates or versions. So think of like, right now we're releasing with, version 1.0, but what about 1.0.1, 1.1.2, right? I don't really know about that, but I want to know good practices in terms of those naming conventions and, yeah, I guess how to show those different project data types through Notion's database system.
Having a clear naming convention and a dashboard to visualize progress is crucial for tracking and managing updates efficiently. For naming your software versions and updates, a common practice is to use semantic versioning. It uses a three-part number system like 1.0.1, where 1, the first number is the major version and indicates big changes that aren't backward compatible. 2, the second number is the minor version for backward compatible new features. 3, the third number is the patch version for backward compatible bug fixes. In your dashboard, you might want to show the current version and upcoming ones, the progress of each version's development, like a percentage bar.
Wait, can you explain to me the naming structure again? You said one, or the first number is non-backwards compatible changes. One is, I think you mean features, and then the other one after that are just patches. Is that correct?
Absolutely, let's go over semantic versioning again. The first number is for major versions. This changes when there are significant updates that might not be backward compatible with previous versions. The second number is for minor versions. This is incremented when you add new features that are still compatible with older versions. The third number is for patches. This is for small updates, bug fixes that don't add new features but improve the existing version. So when you release an update, You'll consider the nature of the changes to determine which number to increment. Would you like to explore more about how to apply this to your project management in Notion?
Yeah. So when it comes to semantic versioning, right? I mean, really, ultimately, what I want is a system that's like fast and doesn't take too many clicks in order to implement. I really want to know how to organize or structure things based on like this semantic versioning system, right? So like to if I put in as like a Notion tag, for example, like 1.1.1, I'll have to make a new tag every single time, and I feel like that could take some time. Um, or is there some other way that I could do this semantic type versioning through a number system that that Notion understands in terms of the automatic ordering? And if not, how else is this normally done in terms of ordering semantic versioning in an automated fashion?
Certainly. In Notion, instead of creating a new tag for each version, you can streamline the process using a combination of properties within a database. Here's a quick way to structure it. 1. Use 3 separate properties for major, minor, and patch versions. Each property will be a number field. This allows for easy incrementing and ensures Notion can sort them correctly. 2. Create a formula property that combines these 3 numbers into your semantic versioning string, like 1.0.1. This way, you don't need to manually create a new tag each time. You just increment the numbers in the respective properties, and the formula automatically updates the version string. For automatic ordering, Notion's sorting feature can organize the database entries by these number properties. You can set the sort to go from largest to smallest, or vice versa for each version property, ensuring that the most recent version is at the top or bottom, as you prefer. When it comes to automation within Notion, while there's no native feature that automatically increments version numbers, you can manually adjust them as you release new updates. If you want more advanced automation, you might need to integrate with external tools using Notion's API, but this could introduce more complexity. Does this approach sound like it might fit your workflow, or would you like to explore external automation tools?
I think actually that makes really good sense. I'm looking at the previous things I already know about Notion in order to create the semantic versioning system you're talking about, and then also creating tasks and projects which will with a formula that will sort of do an auto incrementing of this. That's fascinating. Oh yeah, but can you just move more so back to the project management sort of understanding? So I have many different areas of my company that I'm working on, but at the same time, I have few employees and we're working with different things. So, right, in terms of building the platform website, that's only one area that we're doing, right? But even there's the sort of front end categories. There's just general optimization. There's new features, right? There's subsects of these individual features, and then there's the back end data management, and even then there's sub areas. When it comes to I guess categorizing those or creating a sort of checklist of things that have to be kept in mind. For example, privacy is really important to my consumer base. How can I, or where can I place sort of those checklists? Could I, for example, have an automation where I sort of have an auto checklist of things to add in given the type of structure that someone is creating, or not given the structure, but given the category of thing that someone is doing? I didn't even think of that actually. It's a good point. Hmm. Okay.
It sounds like you need a system that categorizes different work areas and ensures that certain standards, like privacy, are consistently addressed across all tasks. Here's a way to set this up in Notion. For categorization, you can create a multi-select tag property for each task to indicate its category, like front-end, back-end, data management. Within these categories, you could have additional tags or even separate properties to indicate subcategories or specific features. For checklists, create a template in Notion for each category with a predefined checklist that includes your standard requirements, such as privacy considerations. When a new task is created within a category, you can apply the template and the checklist will automatically be included. This means whenever someone starts a new task for, say, front-end development, they'll have the privacy checklist already in place. For automation, Notion doesn't natively support advanced automation for applying templates based on a category selection. However, you can set up the initial structure so that it's just one click to apply a template when creating a new task. For more sophisticated automation, consider integrating third-party automation tools like Zapier with Notion's API, which can conditionally apply templates based on certain triggers. In your dashboard, use filtered views to only show tasks related to a particular area of development. Group tasks by category and sort them by priority, status, or due dates. This way, you ensure that all tasks follow your essential guidelines without having to add them manually each time, and you can view progress within each category at a glance. Does setting up your Notion workspace this way resonate with how you envision managing your projects?
It does make sense, but I guess this confusion that I have is that there are some areas that can have multiple overlaps between each other. So, for example, right, if I'm building out a business funnel, right, the marketing, or not marketing, but the landing page copy of the website, right, that could actually be categorized under multiple things. That could be categorized under marketing, right? That could also be categorized as, website development, if I were to make a category for website development. And I guess depending on how you even structure it further, it could also be sort of the UI of a website, of a website type development. It could maybe even be finances if I'm doing, some pricing or editing that. How do I make sense of those things when something has multiple categories? And I guess it's kind of a maybe a misunderstanding of knowing where best to structure things.
Handling tasks that span multiple categories is a common challenge in project management. In Notion, you can use a combination of tags and linked databases to manage this overlap effectively. With tags, you can assign multiple categories to a single task. This means that your landing page copy could be tagged with marketing, website development, UI, UX, and finances as applicable. By using a multi-select property for your tags, you can choose all that apply without limiting the task to a single category. For visualization and organization, linked databases come in handy. You can create a master
Yeah, I'm
database
thinking
that
about
holds
using
all
actually,
tasks.
linked
Then,
databases.
you can create different views of this database on separate pages for each department or category. Each view can be filtered to only show the tasks with the relevant tags. This way, a single task will show up in multiple views it's relevant, but it's still managed centrally. To handle the overlapping areas, use Notion's relation property to link related tasks across different projects or categories. This ensures that changes in one area reflect relevance or impact on another. Consider having a primary category that decides where a task mainly lives, and secondary categories for additional areas it impacts. For cross-functional tasks like your landing page copy, you could have a standard checklist that includes items from each category it touches. You may have a core checklist for website development, but when it's also tagged marketing, the task can pull in additional checklist items from a marketing template. Regular team reviews can help ensure that everyone is aware of tasks that span multiple departments and can collaborate effectively. Overlapping is natural, but with clear tagging and filtering, it becomes manageable. Would you find it helpful to discuss further how to manage these relations and linked databases in Notion? Or do you have a specific aspect you'd like to explore more?
Can you tell me about the philosophy of what's generally accepted? Like in the same way that accounting has, GAAP. Can you tell me if there are any sort of standardized principles in terms of project management that larger companies may tend to employ, or really just, forget large companies, just what's generally accepted as good practice?
Certainly, in project management, there are widely accepted methodologies and principles that have stood the test of time. Here are some key philosophies and best practices. 1. Agile methodology. Agile is about flexibility, iterative development, and regular feedback. It allows for rapid adaptation to changes, which is especially useful in tech and software development. 2. Waterfall methodology. This is a more traditional approach where each project phase must be completed before the next begins. It's well suited for projects with well-defined stages and requirements. 3. Lean philosophy. Lean focuses on delivering value to the customer by eliminating waste and optimizing processes. It's about doing more with less and is highly customer-centric. 4. PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. This is a set of standard terminology and guidelines for project management published by the Project Management Institute, PMI. It encompasses a wide range of processes and principles. PRINCE2, Projects in Controlled Environments. This is a process-oriented methodology which outlines a precise structure for delivering projects. It's widely used in the UK and internationally. 6. Six Sigma. This is a set of techniques and tools for process improvement, focusing on identifying and removing the causes of defects and minimizing variability in manufacturing and business processes. Good practice principles across these methodologies include clear goals, define and understand the project's objectives and outcomes, planning, have a well-structured plan that outlines the scope, time, and cost, communication, maintain open lines of communication among stakeholders, risk management, identify potential risks early and have mitigation strategies. Resource allocation. Ensure resources are used efficiently and effectively. Documentation. Keep detailed records that track progress and changes. Continuous improvement. Learn from each project and apply lessons to future work. Most successful companies blend these philosophies to create a hybrid approach that suits their specific industry, culture, and goals. What's important is to adopt practices that ensure alignment with your business objectives, enable clear communication, and facilitate adaptability to change. Does this align with what you were hoping to learn about project management best practices?
Yeah, it does. I appreciate this. Thank you. I think now I can work towards building my sources of truth within Notion. But I think you just allowed me to personally line up a bunch of ideas that I had. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to hear that the information was helpful for you. It sounds like you're on the right track, and with your ideas lined up, you're ready to create a strong organizational system in Notion. If you ever need...
And we're done. But yeah,